Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with DR Holistic Healer. I am back with another prophetic message that I received early this morning. Just remember to take what resonates and leave the rest, or you can store it in a file cabinet in the back of your head. And just remember that, I gave that message if something should, come to pass. So let me move right in and get into the message. So this early this morning, I felt like in my dream I had a hard time breathing. It was like really hard to kind of breathe in my dream. So that was just letting me know that somebody was experiencing this situation. Either they're possibly experiencing this situation or possibly about to experience this situation, or it could be something that may come up in the near future, providing that one does not providing that one, correct the course of direction that they're possibly headed in, if I can say that. So just remember, they was just having a hard time with breathing. Um, just keep in mind, if somebody is experiencing this, make sure you always see your healthcare provider first. They do have tests where they can test your oxygen level to just make sure that it's up to par, make sure that it's good. um yeah, so just in case somebody does need some oxygen. The other thing was too, once you, I guess, check out your oxygen level through your healthcare provider, making sure that all is well. You can do things like, even if you're experiencing a shortness of breath, like after the fact, it could have a lot to do with some sort of anxiety, maybe stress coming on. And the key is you can Google on YouTube breath work, and it'll show you how to breathe so that you can release that anxiety as well as the stress out of your body, to help you to bring that air into and release that negative and positive energy in the process. And then number three, it was also came to me that, when I was just trying to figure it out, like, why was this person having a hard time breathing? So these three things came up. Check with your healthcare provider to make sure the oxygen level was good. Pull up breath work on YouTube if you're not sure how to breathe. And number three, you need to get moving with some sort of exercise routine in order to get that cardio going. Yeah, those things should help you in the process. But again, I'm not a doctor, so let me just put that disclaimer out there now. I'm just basically telling you what came to me of some things that you just might want to check in the process. Um, but anyway, let me move right along. Oh, but before I move on, yeah, I had to get that Actually, I got a confirmation today because throughout the day I kept hearing the song. For you guys who may know this song, if you're from the DMV area, or if you're not from the DMV area, you could possibly have heard the song as well too. So anyway, the song was DC Scorpio back in the day, back in like 1984 or whatever, when he said in the song, it just kept replaying. It said, but what did Lim Bias say when his heart stopped pumping? So I hope that that's not somebody's situation. But with that being said, just make sure you take care of yourself. That's all I can say. You have to take care of yourself, put yourself first. Don't let things, people, or jobs um, overwork you, stress you out, and so on and so on. So, with that being said, I'm going to move on to that message because, again, I'm not a healthcare provider, but I'm just telling you what came to me. So, just check your oxygen levels as well as go to your healthcare provider, check your have your oxygen levels checked to make sure it's up to par, as well as you can do, once you do that, you can go to YouTube and pull up like breath work, and it shows you how to, again, release stress and anxiety through breath work, as well as getting that exercise routine in to get that cardio going. So let's move right along to the next message. So this next message, it was a little complicated and I was trying to understand it to the best of my ability. I kind of got somewhat of some of the stuff, the message that was coming through. So with this, I'll be very happy to say it's kind of almost like a piggyback off the message that I gave yesterday in a sense. So let me just say, okay. So first of all, in the dream, it was as if somebody was giving me a makeover. Okay, like, like how you go maybe do a photo shoot and somebody's, putting makeup and stuff on your face. So this person was a professional, It just wasn't like a friend or anything else. So she was putting makeup on my face. And I clearly remember her and I was having a conversation because it was as if I knew her in some sort of way. Um, it was as if I knew her in some sort of way. But then a message, someone, I didn't see this person, but the energy kind of came through like, yeah, I need you to take a picture of your business. Um, take a picture of your business as well as something pertaining to business, and I feel like the staff pertaining to the business. But anyway, and all I heard them saying was, yeah, we're about to hold on. Yeah, it said because we're about to recognize you. Um they was about to recognize me because what that came through in the dream was they was recognizing me because I had been an individual who had been behind the scene. This is how it's come to me in a dream. So it comes to me as if it's happening to me, but sometimes this is happening to someone else, and this is how I'm able to understand and interpret what's being said. So with all that being said, the girl was making up my face, and someone came to me and said, yeah, we need a picture for your business or whatever, because we're about to recognize you and push you to the, we're about to recognize you. So when she said that, the first thing I was saying, it was like, oh my God, like I told the girl who was putting makeup on my face, I was like, but I want you to go to the forefront, not necessarily me. And and so in other words, I told her that, and then her response was kind of like, well, you always, what did she say? You're always doing things for other people, in the sense like, because I was trying to push her out to the forefront, as if, let's just say hypothetically, like there was a situation of maybe, okay, this, let me explain to you like this. So she's a professional now. Let me say that. She's a professional makeup artist now. So with that being said, I had it was as if she became a professional makeup artist because there was something that I told her in the past, like, yeah, you should pursue that. You'd be really good at that. And she became very good at that, and she excelled, and she went past, in other words, myself, as someone who owns a business, but her business took off way before my business did. And she was reaping the rewards of her business. So the guy that came to me, it was as if he was just basically saying that we're gonna recognize you. What it came to me in the dream was that they were gonna recognize me because I always put others first, is how it was coming. They was recognizing me because I always put others first rather than myself, and I always stay behind the scene while I kind of help others to elevate up in life, and I was being recognized for that. That's what had came to me for that part. So I just want to basically say, for some of you guys who have, for some of you guys who have been in that type of energy, maybe most of your life, you help others out willingly with not expecting things in return, and you did for others. You treated others as if that you was treating yourself a certain way. Um, Although you preferred to stay behind the scene. Um, I just wanted to tell you that God is basically about to push you to the forefront. You're about to be recognized exceedingly and abundantly for all the recognition that you never gotten. Even when you helped others to elevate, um, when you help others to, when you was being selfless, let me say that, when you was being, coming from a place of being selfless, not worried about um, whether somebody got ahead of you or not, That was an act of kindness. And God recognizes that. He recognizes that because he saw your heart. And because he saw your heart and your heart was pure, he's going to reward you for that. Even though it might have seemed like it has taken forever. Even though it seemed like things didn't work out in your favor when everybody else seemed like they was accelerating. God is about to recognize you. Others are going to recognize you. So again, if you someone who stood in your integrity, you wasn't chasing money, you wasn't trying to cut throat, you wasn't, you know, trying to keep up with the Joneses. And again, this is no judgment to anyone. I'm just telling you of what I know, what I saw. God is about to recognize you for all that you have done. You didn't hate on anyone when people leveled up past you. You didn't. You stayed pure. So, with all that being said, congratulations to whoever you are. I'm happy for you. I'm sure God is saying, job well done. That's what I just heard. And you deserve it. Just more important than anything, just keep your heart the same. Keep your heart the same. That's what just came to me. Just make sure you keep your heart the same. I'm sure that your heart will stay the same if it's gotten you this far. If it's anything, when you do level up, um, just remember to be the change that you wish to see and not allow others to change you. That's the key importance. Because I know sometimes so many people, I don't even know where I'm going with this conversation. I feel like Spirit is having me have this conversation. I know that so many people, they encounter wealth. They not only encounter wealth, but they encounter wealth. They encounter wealth, and sometimes they tend to they forget their struggles. So, but anyway, congratulations again. Um, I'm sorry, I'm just sitting there thinking about that. So just keep that in mind. Um, you're about to be recognized. You're about to be recognized. Anyway, let me move on to the next message. I mean, well, it's kind of the same message, but it actually switched scenes. So within that same dream, I actually had a dream that the same young lady who was doing the makeup on me, her and I somehow we switched scenes in a sense. You know, like how in the movie you feel like you're being fast forward to another area. Kind of felt like that. So her and I was like in this apartment building, and I remember being in an apartment building, and I was kind of like back towards the back room. I was kind of like back towards the back room. And then all of a sudden I heard a knock at the door. So just as I heard a knock at the door, um this guy, he felt like some sort of higher up official. I don't know if he was like a, what did I write down? I don't know if he was like a bodyguard or somebody, I don't know, some sort of, I don't know if he was a government official. I don't know, but I felt like it was that type of energy. But anyway, so I heard a knock at the door. Actually, no, before I heard a knock at the door, all I heard was, it was kind of like a siren over an intercom that says we're going on a mandatory lockdown. And it was very loud. So I don't know if you ever kind of like remember like the bull horns, and it was kind of sound like that, how they sound the siren first and then said this is a mandatory lockdown. That's what I heard first. Okay, and then after that I had actually heard an, oh, so I'm sorry. So after the mandatory lockdown, this is where it got a little tricky at, because I felt like I went and laid on the bed that was in the apartment. I went and laid on the bed, and it was as if the other girl was about to lay on the bed too. But the funny thing was, I found myself facing downward, as if, like, how kind of like when people are in, or bank robbers or incarcerated, whoever, when somebody comes into a bank, they're like face down. So nobody told me to face down, but for some particular reason, I had faced down towards the bed. Like, I laid on the bed, like facing downward. It was just weird. But anyway, then after that, that's when I heard a knock at the door. And then apparently I didn't go and answer the door because, again, I was in the back room, but I felt like I was doing something else at this point. But then a gentleman, an official gentleman, he had went and opened the door. Well, apparently I didn't see him open the door, but I knew he had opened the door and answered the door. He came back there and he told me, and he said, you have somebody out here. Your mom is out here. But then he said, but I don't think that's your mom. And then so he walked back to the door, and then I told him to let them in, or let her in. So when he let her in, two women had walked through the door. One had walked through the door. I said, well, this is not my mother right here, but this lady is my mother. So I don't know what the other lady represented, but and I don't know, maybe that could be a situation that maybe someone, I don't know. I don't want to read into that one. But anyway, so when she walked in there, she was talking to me, and the first thing she said was, the first thing she had said was, okay. So when she walked in there and she was talking to me, the first thing I noticed is that she looked like she had been drinking. And I was like, I was saying to myself, my mother don't drink. My mother's not even a drinker at all. So I knew that that was like out of the norm. So when I saw her hair was just like a little, it wasn't matted or out of place, but back in like the 80s, we would wear like the roller set in kind of outward, you know, it was kind of like that in a sense. So she had been drinking and her hair was just kind of like poofed out or whatever. Um, but she had been drinking. And then the first thing she said was, she had told me in the dream, she said, well, they're about to, yeah, so she had proceeded to tell me that that she has to go overseas for 12 months. And I was like, so I heard 12 months in the dream. When I woke up from the dream, I thought to myself, 1 year. Okay, so I don't know what that's about. But what had came to me was, I don't know if it's a situation of, and when she said overseas, the first thing I thought about is water. Overseas is traveling over water. Anytime I have the water dream, this is usually pertaining to somebody about to go through emotional feelings. An ocean is very wide, so it's not like a swimming pool. But with that being said, somebody I truly believe is about to be within their emotions, or somebody has been in their emotions for a minute now. Because one, when she showed up intoxicated, that was just letting me know. I'm not sure if that was pertaining to someone in the military, is what I got. I felt like the situation was probably pertaining to somebody who may be in the military, who may have to go overseas for 12 months or a year, whatever you want to call it. That they possibly may have to go overseas for a year. The other thing was, I felt like it could have been related to someone serving time with, me being in a position of facing down when it said a mandatory lockdown, as if, how they do lockdowns in incarceration, but I'm not sure. So take it how it resonates. Or it could just be a mandatory lockdown out here with this whole 19 going on. I'm not sure. So I didn't really get too much of details, but I can just tell you like these little things that kind of came to me. And then the last thing I kind of thought to myself was like, I don't know. When she came drunk, I thought to myself was, is it somebody who's about to go through emotional withdrawals because they had been a drinker, and they're about to start drinking and possibly go to rehab? Because again, it goes back to the whole mandatory lockdown thing. Um, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm saying a lot of ums. It's okay. Trying to get out of that habit, but that's just who I am. So, anyway, so with all that being said, yeah, I just truly feel like that situation probably was pertaining to somebody maybe in the military. Um, but I felt like when the guy came to me, I felt like, I don't know, I kind of felt like he was almost like a bodyguard, and maybe my mom was showing up, but she was showing up intoxicated. So I don't know. I feel like maybe this situation could pertain to a lot of different scenarios that people are going through, and maybe if someone hears the message, it could they can relate to it because somehow it fits with their situation that they may be dealing with. So I don't think this is just one particular situation. But again, remember that water represents emotions. These are things that's underneath the surface that you don't tell people about. So that's what water usually represents. And let me see. And the last thing is, what was it? Okay. And so this I wanted to say, because today I was walking my dog, and it just came, it's like twice it came to me today. So I was like, okay. Then I saw 777 on somebody's tag. So that was just a confirmation for me. So let me explain. I did a video on this some time ago on Patreon. And the video, I can't remember what it was titled, something about watch where you stay or be careful where you stay. Um, Let me just say this. My neighbor, he doesn't live across the street from me, but he lives like down the street at an angle. I had no idea that he passed away. May God rest his soul. And I hope he was at peace with his life. But let me just say this. I didn't even know he passed away. I didn't know he passed away until I saw a sign in the yard just the end part of last week that it said something about the estates for sale, and I didn't even know what that meant. So we had to Google that to see what it meant because I didn't realize, I guess, however the states is. Anyway, so I didn't realize that. But then once we figured it out, I was like, oh my God, I said he passed. And I had no idea that he passed. Well, let me just say this. I also remember his son had actually passed in the house, the same house. His son passed away back in September or November of 2020. And now that he has passed away, I'm not sure if he passed away in the house. But I do know his son had passed away in the house because I remember walking my dog one day and I was like, oh my God, like I was a little shocked because I was like, I didn't know if it was him or his son that had passed, but and then I found out that his son had passed and I had no idea. So I'm not sure if the dad had passed away in the house, but I do know the son passed away in the house. But I say all this to say, um Spirit wanted me to remind you guys, especially for those people who out there buying houses, if you're renting houses, or even if you're staying in like Airbnbs, just be mindful of that because yes, just be mindful of that because I clearly remember like having a dream about that two people passing away in a house. It felt like a could have been an Airbnb, somebody's house, but I felt like I was visiting the house. And the first thing I said to myself, oh, I'm not going in that room because I saw two bodies that, you know how on a crime scene they outline two bodies in the white chalk or whatever. I saw two bodies outlined in one particular room. So when I cracked the door and looked inside, I was like, oh, I'm not going in that room. And I say all that to say that you guys have to be mindful when you purchase in these homes because you don't know the energy behind the people that stayed in the home prior to you. And I felt like Spirit just wants me to bring this to your attention because I know we buy homes, we get so excited, we forget to ask questions because sometimes it's like maybe it could be a situation of, oh my God, this is my first property and you're really excited about moving in, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to remember to ask questions too because again, you never know the person that was staying there prior to you. And I'm not trying to put fear in you guys, I'm just trying to make you guys aware because there is a saying when it says that if walls could talk and if we really could understand what a person was experiencing behind those walls prior to us moving in, you never know. But again, with all that being said, you have I do believe that realtors are supposed to disclose to you whether somebody had passed away in the house, because I do know when we bought this house, I had also that was a question of mine too. So just be mindful of that. I think I also mentioned when I was on Patreon too that I remember watching, what was it? Uh, what was that show called? It was called 90 Day Fiance, and it was an episode of a couple who had went out of town and they went to, I think it was Arizona. Was it Arizona? I think they went to Arizona. I'm not sure. Arizona, was it? I don't know. Anyway, nevertheless, they rented an Airbnb. And I find it very funny that these two people, they both experienced the same thing, and one didn't know it until the other one said it. So with all that being said, one had stated, she said, yeah, the husband had said, yeah, it was like, I couldn't really sleep. I got up to go to the bathroom last night and I saw a little girl walking down the hallway, and then she's like, are you kidding me? She said, I thought I felt like a presence there, or I saw that little girl too, or something like that, she said. But anyway, I'm not trying to make you guys fearful. I'm just bringing some things to your attention, just in case, you weren't aware of it, to just be mindful, again, of places that you're renting, who you're renting from, as well as do your research when you buy property. So with all that being said, I thank you all for your time, and I'm wishing y'all much love and much light on your journey, and I hope that all is well, and hopefully there will not be a mandatory lockdown with this whole 19 going on. But if we, I'm gonna just say hopefully we won't. But anyway, with all that being said, just keep in mind, so don't forget, breathe, see your healthcare provider, exercise, work out. See your healthcare provider first. You want to make sure everything else is okay before you start doing all that other stuff, because the last thing you want is more problems on top of problems. So anyway, I'm wishing y'all much love, much light. It's been 27 minutes. I feel like I've been rambling. Peace and blessings. Bye.